This
Once the
conference will
paratransit,
now
the
be
smaller
recorded.
one, are you going to just use one of the newer, smaller buses
We
to
have
handicap to whatever? Okay.
because we really need 3 routes for paratransit. We have a lot of paratransit riders, a lot. This is like the first time in 5 years that our numbers are starting to grow in the paratransit. A lot of days our schedule is full for 2 buses and we really could run a third. We've had 9 applicants this last month to ride paratransit.
Anything else? Okay, and if nothing else, we go to museum.
So we've stayed super busy coming out of this fall and progressing into the winter. We just opened our holiday artisan market a couple weekends ago, and that's supporting 30 artists in the region, and it's also a fundraiser for our foundation. So as sales commence, it's 70% goes back to the artists, and then 30% comes back to the foundation to support museum programming. So that'll be going on through the end of December. So if you still have any holiday shopping to do, I encourage you to stop by. It is free to go to the holiday artisan market, and lots of really cool things to look at too. Let's see. The flooring renovations are continuing. It's a slow progression. They're pretty much finished with our entry gallery. There's a little bit of the transition strips that they need to add on the north end, and then the south end, I want them to redo that one because it's a little too steep. The PGA gallery, which is next to it, that's the largest gallery in the museum. It has that zigzag wall in the middle of it, but no longer does it because the zigzag wall came down. And they went ahead and reinforced the joists, took up the decking, put in new decking. So it's really solid now. We're just waiting for the subcontractor to come in and start putting the hardwood in that gallery.
You find anything cool in the floor?
So that used to be a courtyard years ago. And they said all they found was like a drain.
Oh.
I was like, okay. And a pack, some pack of the rolling tobacco.
Oh.
Yes, yeah. It probably got covered. I think it was in the 70s it was converted over, but that's going well. And you probably heard we got some additional state funds a couple weeks ago, 638,000. So that was going towards projects that had already received state allocations but were not completed yet, that received funding in 21 and 22 or 20 and 21, something like that. But we qualified as one of the state city entities that had happened to. So the money is going to help with the project of moving the store, which we already have some state funds for, but now we have additional funds to expand into the lobby, which we originally had planned to do. We don't have enough funds to do the family education space where the old store space is going to be. But we're going to leave that just closed up as the store transitions over, and then that'll just be used towards future fundraising. I hope that we get that project done by 2026 is the goal, but it allows some time for our foundation to fundraise for it and to go after additional state funds if those are available. In any case, we'll be busy moving forward. I've been meeting with the architect a couple of times now since we got the additional funds. So we're adding in, if you recall, when we were doing the flooring project, we wanted ultimately to do about half the museum, which was 23,000 square feet. We had to cut back, I think it was 7,000 square feet on the terrazzo because we just didn't have enough funding because the amount of reinforcement that was needed in the floors that were bouncy. So that being said, now that we have the state funds, we can finish the terrazzo portion, as well as move the store and then do the lobby as well. So we'll get all of that finished up, which would be great. The new state funds have to be spent by the end of June, so in this fiscal year, and then also work within the city process to close out accounts and such by the end of the fiscal year. So we're putting the timeline into place. It's going to be tight, but where we have some flexibility is the other state funds that we already received, the 709,000. Some of that's already earmarked for the architect, but the other portion will go towards this project. There's 460,000 remaining from that. So that we still have until 2025 and 2026 to spend. So should we presumably go into July, August with this project, we will have expended the current funds of the 638 that we just received, but we can still continue on with the remaining funds. So I'm just tightening up that timeline again with the architect. The terrazzo, we're going to separate that out from the rest of the project. So that we can get a head start on that so we'll put the flooring down before we do the renovation on top of it. So it'll be two separate projects. That I'll be bringing to you It sounds like end of January. I was hoping for the end of December to bring it to general services and the city council, but because of the holidays and we need to give like 3 weeks for contractors to get quotes together and stuff, there's just not enough time. So that'll be end of January, bring it to council then presumably in February so that they can start the terrazzo work in late February. And then the other portion, we're aiming for end of March to have all the planning documents ready to go and bids out and everything. We're either going to do a bid process or we'll go through a quote system. So we're still refining that part. But that should be end of March and then take it to council in April. So it's a whole process. And some. And then the other big thing that I'm working on is reaccreditation. So I've mentioned this a few times. It's actually been ongoing for about 1.5 years, but it ends this week. So it feels like I'm writing a federal grant right now because it's really big. I'm like, I have all these numerous essays on challenges and achievements and I'm looking forward. What's that?
ChatGPT.
What is that? Oh, have AI write it for me? That would be great. But we've been working on policies and procedures. The strategic plan is something we finished up recently, and that all goes towards this reaccreditation process. So right now it's the self-study. That's everything that I'm handing in at the moment. Then that'll be reviewed, and then we'll have 2 peer reviewers from the American Alliance of Museums come and visit us in either March or April. So they'll be doing a site visit. They'll be talking with board members, foundation members, staff, likely some of you. And yeah, so that'll be a whole process too. But again, it's just a review to make sure that we're reaching the standards and benchmarks that we need to be achieving as an accredited museum. We've been accredited since 1978, and they usually come to do site visits or go through reaccreditation like every 10 years. The last one we went through was from 2006 to 2008. We were supposed to go up for reaccreditation in 2016, but AAM decided to reevaluate their whole system. So they put everyone on hold for 5 years, but then that took us into COVID. And so then they gave us more of an extension. So this is the first time we've been reviewed since 2008. But I was here then, so it'll be old hat for me. Yeah, so it's been fun and lots going on. And next week, I think I'll feel like a normal person again. So.
Then Christmas will come.
Yeah, hopefully.
From committee members? Any questions from the public? Anybody present? And do we have any questions from anybody online? And the answer is no, I guess.
Mayor, how much do you get from your fee for admission to the zoo? How much?
At the museum. So we've just been charging since 2021, and the first year I think it was right around 46,000, and then last year was 76,000, and this year it'll be right around that. We would have gotten probably closer to 85, 90, but because we've been doing the renovations with the flooring, anytime there's a disruption to our services, we either reduce or sometimes have made the admission free. So we've lost some money this year, but again, it'll be right around 75, 78, something like that.
You don't require any additional staff to collect it?
No, it's the same staff that we would have greeting and monitoring the galleries,
If we
our
got
security staff.
The guest or the sales center in there.
The store?
The store, yeah, I got the store in there, then you wouldn't have to,
She's working on that.
would that give you a freedom? I mean, that'd give you,
Additional revenues?
yeah, because you just have to have that one.
Yeah, so with the store moving, that should hopefully highlight and increase our revenues. There's still budget adjustments I will be requesting because we used to, I was looking back in old financial documents while working on reaccreditation. Our budget for the store used to be 85,000 is what we were able to use to buy wholesale and do consignment and that kind of thing. And once COVID hit, our budget went down a lot because we didn't have any customers to sell anything to. But right now it's like around 7,000. So that's something that when the new store opens, the grand reopening, which will be in the next fiscal year, that's when we'll have to kind of reevaluate and bump that up. But that being said, we should be able to compensate and make a lot more money than we have been. We've been bringing in anywhere from, I don't know, 40 to 60,000 with the store. Sometimes we've been as high as 80, but that's when we were investing more in it. So.
But that'd be something also that hopefully we can have some more revenues that can probably help that, boost that up.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, that's the overall hope, is to just make it a nice space for people to want and, buy
Mhm.
branded merchandise of our own, but also of the local regional artists and such. So, yeah, we should be increasing revenues. Are you considering admissions?
No, I was just wondering how much you made. I mean, what the costs were, because it's a delicate balance. When the zoo was free, it was like 78,000 people or something went through it. And then it dropped down to 16 or 17,000 people.
Yeah, I will say our attendance numbers have not really changed much since charging admissions. It's hard to gauge, and part of our strategic plan will be doing evaluations and surveys and things because we haven't had a chance to implement those in recent years. But just based on numbers of people coming in the door, our numbers have not changed that much. We always want to make them go higher, because years and years ago, it used to be like we'd have 70, 80,000 people coming a year. And now it's hovers around 35. And so we'd love to get that higher.
And I guess because I'm looking at the people that go to the UFO museum, and to figure out a way, the ones that go to UFO go to come to the Roswell Museum and then maybe go to the Anderson. And if there wasn't a way that we could give a map and a pass to go to all three for $5 or $7 or something. All I'm saying is that when people if we get so many more people go through the UFO museum, and I'm just saying, they miss the best part, some of the best parts of Roswell. And I trying to figure out a way to craft some kind of deal that you get. I mean, if you give them every 10th one gets a prize if you go to all three and a stamp. I'm just looking, it's a shame for people to come all the way to Roswell and miss two of the most fantastic places in the world to go.
Yeah. And that's always on our mind, because they get 250,000 people and we get 35,000. So we're always trying to bridge that. And a lot of ideas have been in the mix, but not everything's been implemented, right? So it's like, we want to improve our signage. We haven't had the funding to do that. But we have some designs in the mix that we're able to draw from. So getting more signage out there for us, I think, would be helpful. To the UFO museum, they're open to working with us. And so we've talked about putting together a card that we can put down there that advertises the planetarium, because we figure anyone who goes to the UFO museum will definitely want to come to our planetarium. And the UFO museum said they're willing to give those out and put them at their front desk. So we're in the process of working on that. And then 3, since we've been doing that museum day, which Councilor Halverson helped out with, we have a really strong bond, I feel like, with all the museums in town. So I think it's using that network and just having a discussion and saying, hey, this is what we want to do. How can we make it happen?
Okay, so.
With the admissions and the.
Yeah, but if they get 250,000 people there.
Yep.
And we get
35,000.
35,000, okay, so that's 10 times more. And, it's more than 10 times, but anyway, just say it's 10 times more. So if you put a deal out there that you could go and ask them if they sell tickets, if they would agree. And I mean, the UFO museum, they've never had that close a working relationship with the city. I mean, in the way I see it. Now, I might be wrong.
We're trying to work on it, but I don't disagree.
But I'm just saying, if they bought a ticket there, and you number your tickets, if they'd sell them a ticket to go to the other 2 museums for $9.
Yeah.
And get all 3, put a map on it and everything. It's worth the odds that you'd sell
There's 5.
1 out of 10.
Museums.
I know there's 5, but
yeah.
Magnificent stuff.
I'm just trying to get,
Sorry.
I want them to go through the biggest and the best that we have first, and then we can work on doing it better next.
Yeah.
But if you did that, if you got $4, just say you sell them for $9, and if you got just a few people, it would more than pay you to have a special pass to go to the museum.
Yeah, and Juanita talked about that years ago, and we've been wanting to implement that too. It's just a matter of figuring out the logistics. But I think working between the museum group And the zoo and other amenities, like I think we can
But
put something
yeah, but
together.
all I'm saying is
Yeah.
that, hey, if they get their $5 anyway, and they add you on there, that would be I mean, we ought to approach them with that, or I will, I don't care. I'm just saying, it's crazy the difference. So many people go through there and never see some of the best things in Roswell. And I know the other museums are sacred and everything else, but let's get two going, get them to go see two more before we get three more. So we can get something that we know works.
Well, that museum day, I think it proved it'll work with every museum because,
So
Did it do well?
oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
really
it was
well.
just every single museum had a record attendance. rate.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But I mean, I'm just saying, we got to figure, we all sit here and rock along, do the same damn thing and get the same damn results. If we try something outside the box, what have we heard? And I just left these people that were so excited about how wonderful we had, those people from Reno were so excited about Roswell and what it is. And why not share it? If we start sharing a little bit, once you get people coming and seeing a little bit, then you can wean them on another one. And I don't know if the other ones even charge. I don't think they do.
I think the historical museum does, or they used to.
Or takes donations or something, and then,
Yes.
yeah, UFO museum.
Anderson doesn't charge, Walker doesn't charge. She doesn't charge the miniature, does she? Or does she?
They used to, but they don't now.
Yeah.
When people go to that museum and then they go to the Anderson, you have something that you can go back and you can talk to every museum in this state that's run by the state, and they are not as good as those museums. I don't care. You go look at them and you look at, when you go in that one museum, art's in the eyes of the beholder, whether it's that table that goes like that or whatever it is. And when you go through, kids need to see where rockets started, where jet planes started. Kids need to see that stuff. And how the hell can we let them miss it?
By not charging? Field trip.
But I would say, again, the admission or attendance has not changed since we started charging. Now, it might be different people coming. Yeah, it's hard to say, but.
I'm just saying, what does it hurt to look outside the box? And nobody ever wants to look outside the box, except I do. And this guy,
Nobody's arguing with you. We agree with you.
I mean, a logistic, but it's something I'll continue talking to Juanita about it,
I can give you the presentation that we put together. I think it was 2019
something like that.
on City Pass. And we have a URL for it and try to get like even some of our downtown businesses to participate. And unfortunately, it didn't move beyond approval. So for financial reasons on who collects the money, there's a lot of
Logistics,
a lot
yeah.
of logistics.
Especially if the museums charge different entry fees.
Correct. Yeah.
I understand that. That's why I'm saying, you know what? You throw in $9 and you get to see the other two. And if you increase it 50,000 people, out of the 250, if you get 1 out of 5 to go to the other two, you're money ahead.
Yeah, but the other groups would have to want to participate. So I say we bring back up the paperwork that you already did and the presentation and.
We can.
I just don't, you just sell them the pass, even if the Anderson stays free and you charge, if you sell them that pass and get them to go.
Yeah, it's like the state culture pass that they have where you buy one pass and you get to go to all the state museums and monuments.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, well, and I was gonna tell you, when you look about what the library has done for children, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, your programs are exceptional. And I'm really, when you go look at where we were 70% Anglo years ago and now we're 70% Hispanic, our programs have to change. And she's done a wonderful job doing it. I mean, it's fantastic what she's done. And I mean, you just look outside the box, all I'm saying. We've already been inside the box. What the hell, get out and look around.
Give her credit. She did with the museum day. That was outside the box.
She's done good. She's got her floors in there and they haven't peeled up like before in my office.
Well, time.
In the store, do you sell consignment items? Are you going?
We do,
Oh.
but I want to increase the number of
Yeah.
those because that way we won't have to invest in the wholesale, although we still have to pay the artists.
Larger? Or-
It'll be a little bit smaller, but it'll be configured better.
That's all.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry, Luana, I didn't.
It's all right. You almost stole her thunder. If nobody else, then, library, you're up.
Really, I put it all in my report. Does anyone have any questions? But the only thing that's not in there is the gas leak that we found yesterday has been fixed.
Oh, wow.
It worked out, thankfully. But it was fixed within a few hours, so.
Well, my grandson likes your music program for infants. He's not even one yet. He likes it.
Anybody have any questions?
Dia de los Muertos go.
It went great. Let's see, everything in the report. So Diana, is the one who coordinated it with the museum and the Hispano Chamber. And so she adds a little something each year, and this time she talked about the butterflies and the renewing, the transformation of the butterflies and how it is important in Hispanic culture, its history behind it. She added that in. We had the folklore dancers, we had Father Lotto, and he rearranged his schedule just to come in and do a blessing and a dedication for the library. And then we had cookie decorating and sugar skulls. We had information about the altar, and then next year it's going to be on November 2nd, which is the actual day. So we're expecting more people.
And my
And the
birthday.
Hispano is wanting to do some more of that.
Cool.
So, putting it out into the parking lot and things
Nice. Yeah, it's a
like
good
that.
program.
Anybody online have any questions? And if not, Jim, you got the rest of the report.
I had coffee, you ready? So, start with the cemetery, just a lot of maintenance items there. We had some deals at the actual office we had to fix, tore the floor up, put a new restroom in there. It was falling through, and fixed a couple water lines and a lot of it, no one thinks about, but we have a different levels and lasers and stuff we use out there. So we started marking some stuff at the veteran cemetery. Obviously, that has to be perfect. And so we took our time and did that. We got a new staff teaching, cut up some trees, and so anytime we open a new section, it's quite a thing because we have to pin everything. And because you don't want to start off wrong, you know what I'm saying? So that's been taken care of. Work this week on getting the PO to bring in the rest of the engineering for columbariums. So we'll do an RFP for that. So that's about done. And we have a timeline for that. But the first thing was to change gears a little bit and on what we're going to do. So that's been done. And so that's what we got at the cemetery.
Is it all being watered now?
For the most part, yeah.
But out there.
We do have we had the new well, remember that? New well, and so we've asked for some funding to actually put a pump in a building over it. I would hope that Robert Glenn would try and do that for free, but we've been working on that and we'll get it hooked together. That's a pressure thing. Believe it or not, the irrigation ends where the trees are when you pull in. That's the last sprinkler head right there. So we're always taking it up to get the gravel out of it, sand. That's what plugs up, it's going down that road there. But we're on it, it'll get there. So that's the cemetery.
Okay. Any questions concerning the cemetery?
I know you don't want me to talk, but I want to ask a question.
It doesn't bother me a bit.
Okay. That okay?
I'm not in charge.
So, you know, we went in there and they put a bunch of that kind of hot mix stuff or whatever it was, slurry on top of all that.
The tailings,
They put all that on there. Is there, and all that stuff's coming up, it seems like.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do to work on better streets?
well, I love the millings we put down, and they put all, they hold for a while, but what tears them up is we irrigate and they get water on them sometimes. Depending on what's going on, it kind of eats on them. But, yeah, I'd love to have like real asphalt roads or something, but
I don't know how much it costs, but I know somebody, either somebody put in some money for asphalt one time, I didn't know.
yeah, and that helped.
It's only 50,000.
Well, that was all it was. So-
We bought a couple speed bumps right there, but all,
Okay. Any hope on opening the west gate?
no,
Why not?
because people use it for a pass through.
Give them a ticket.
We could, but they don't speed, Richard.
Who's gonna be there?
They don't speed.
Just tell them not to go through traffic.
Yeah, that's why they do it, is
Because the sign says no.
when we bring in the procession, we always know when they're coming in. You know, if we give everybody a choice, we get cars coming in both ways, it kind of cobbles things up.
If you go down, if you go and enter on the west side,
Mhm.
you don't bother local Roswell traffic because they use Main Street. And that way you'd only bother the people going through town. So it would be a lot better if you went down the west
On the
side of
highway
town,
there.
open the west street.
Yeah.
And that way, you know, you keep all the traffic going to the base going faster. We had to stop there today when we're taking all those fancy people through there and wait.
They had a funeral thing.
Yeah, and then so it would just be better if you know, we took them down Southeast Main. And so we didn't stop the traffic on people going out to the base to spend money and stuff coming.
Yeah, go
Base
take an
coming
airplane,
down.
go somewhere, slow them down, miss their flight. Yeah. That ain't a bad idea, but I had to talk to Board of Trade and Ruben. I don't think it make too much difference.
I don't think it would either.
That ain't a bad idea.
There's more businesses on South Main than there is on Southeast Main.
That's true. You only have fairgrounds. And the trailer parks. Okay.
Only time it'd be rough is during the fair.
Yeah, maybe we could switch it up.
So that'd be all
We open,
right. We can change it.
Yeah, that's right, no funerals that night, that's true.
we could test it.
That's true.
I mean, we open both gates depending on the ceremony that's going on, police, fire, firemen, things like that. If high traffic, we open both, just so everybody can leave.
You can go on to the next one.
All right, the golf course. All right, I'm proud of the golf course. They're really kicking it. We're turning some good revenue and I think we're gonna get pretty good numbers this year. We did a tournament the other day. It's the second one. We're doing tournaments every year for charities. So I think we gave a few dollars to the Salvation Army, I think it was this year. And we'll pick another, we're gonna take a charity. Each one's will be different every year. So we don't show any favoritism. But that way we can use the golf course for something. So we did that today, yesterday and today, those new golf carts came in. There's 55 brand new carts out there and they're putting the tops on. We're working on the GPS. So you can't go where you ain't supposed to and you can't steal them and we can watch. We don't have to hire an employee to marshal the play. We can see it up on the screen. So if it slows down somewhere, we'll just send someone out there with a Coke and hot dog, tell them to hold up and let the people play through. So it's doing good.
You need me to go out there and speed test a couple of them? Those-
Well, we actually had some customers take them out and they liked them. They said they ran quite well and they were smooth and they enjoyed them. So once we get the GPS done, it'll actually tell you how far you are from the pin. It'll actually tell you where you're at, you know. It's not going to suggest what club to use, but right?
Eventually,
But it'll stop driving
Hand
off.
tap on the left.
Won't let him hit dead tree trunks or
Yeah,
anything.
hit that. No, they can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You have to push them back. So that's just doing good. There's not too many problems out there. There was a restroom, Rita. There was a restroom out there outside. That was supposed to be ADA. And so it's being rebuilt, totally rebuilt. It is. And I mean, they may have to do more work tomorrow, but they put a new roof on it, new walls. I did express that it needs to be smooth going in there because it is ADA.
So what happens when they drive the golf course, golf cart where it can't go?
It shuts off and it stays off for so many minutes.
And then it
And
comes
then you
back
got
on?
to push it backwards. That depends.
Those are the Target ones that I didn't know they had GPS on them. I was
Isn't that
pushing
cool?
the cart, it died. And I'm like, I'm dragging it in now because it won't turn back on.
I tested that once and about face planted. I didn't think it would stop it.
Yeah, it
It
did.
is.
And there was nothing I could do. I couldn't leave the cart there with all my stuff and go in. So I had to literally drag.
No, this only shuts off for a little bit and it gives you another chance. And you do it again, then,
Yeah.
you may end up having to walk, but we'll be kind to our customers and we'll let them back up.
How expensive are the carts?
How much were they?
You know, to use it.
We haven't changed the price. I don't remember what it is, but
Okay.
it's
It's just a normal. person.
normal. Yeah, it's just, we're changing it. The ones we had before, we were renting and we've had very nice, we haven't paid any rent on the carts for a while because they should have already delivered the new ones. So that's been free. That's helped our revenue. But with the batteries, at home, lithium batteries at 5 years, they're pretty much done. They're done. And then you got to try to buy another one in it. So the carts are gas to where you can maintain them longer. And then in the future, they can just do so many at a time. Just replace 5, not 55, but 5 or 10 or something like that. And kind of even out the cost. It's not all in one chunk. So that's why we went to gas. But they're nice, very nice.
And you are having a setup to where if you need to, you'll have 2 or 3 on order or ready to order.
Eventually, yeah, not right out. Yeah,
That's the word I was looking for.
year and a half out. Yeah, we'll work on that. So it's always fluid. And, but we're doing good. We got the beverage cart first, then we got a range pick up the balls. That thing didn't work. We got new carts. So I think the next one, we got the restroom fixed and got the air conditioner fixed. And I think the next one is the barbecue grill, I think. I'm not sure, but we're getting there.
Good.
I'm proud of, just the staff. They just take care of the customers. So that's all it really is to it. Keep the grass green, take care of the customers.
Any other questions concerning the golf? If not, we go to the next.
All right, Parks Department. You've seen the pictures. I don't take more pictures. You guys can actually see what they do all the time. It's different, but, we taught some more people how to cut down trees and be safe. And so we're cleaning up. This is the time of year we start doing projects. So we have a few projects at the zoo we're going to do and take out some trees and they're mapping where they're going to plant a bunch more. We're still a very solid tree city. We planted like 200 trees last year. And so they're getting that taken care of. So there's different varieties. So they've already, each crew that's out there, they're responsible for their property, 100%. So they look at their irrigation, they look at the trees, which I'm going to cut down, which ones I'm going to plant. You got this many, go put them out, tell me where they go. And so they're responsible for everything. They just do a great job. And it'll finish up tomorrow, but they're also in charge of all the ball fields now. The soccer field was a little rough. It needed some love. And so he got, we put compost on it 2 or 3 times and we fertilized it twice, aerated it, fixed the irrigation, and we purchased new step-up pumps. That's on city water out there, the soccer fields, but we needed more pressure. So we cut down the amount of zones, increased the pressure, we put in the new controllers and tomorrow, the people that sell those be in and we'll, hook up the wiring. It was kind of a rat's nest. Now every single wire is marked. We have IT in the building. They let us have something to mark wires. So we might have thought out of the box on that and they let us borrow their stuff. Other than that, I'd take the coffee away. Anyhow, it worked great. So hopefully we get the pressure going there and we move on to other things. We signed a new contract with the soccer people. That's fantastic. It's good to be team players with everybody. So that's kind of what's going on in parks. You can see the things I like. You see the guys down there at the bottom are cleaning stuff. So the very bottom left pictures, that's a tree farm, right? And we're at all the ball fields now. And that was a power flush and stuff, just to keep it, you can see them downtown cleaning things. And that's kind of nice, it looks clean and safe, right? And
Speaking of.
There's a good.
Are you okay?
I saw it here.
huh?
Are you okay?
Was that the mayor that came?
He did, he shook it loose, didn't he?
That's
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have.
Juan sucked it in.
Did that on.
It comes out on me, that's it. We'll lean it against the wall.
Yeah, put it in the corner.
No, it just need a little bit of weight.
Let's not leave it there.
For that to happen again.
Let's put it back there.
Enid's got a place.
American flag goes on the left side.
Anyway.
Question.
Yes.
On
Go ahead.
Reichman Park, can you put a tree in that one where you had to take the dead one out? And then that garden that's there along the railing, can you put like a xeriscape garden or something you don't have to water? Because
All right, so,
it's just a dirt plot now.
okay, so you're talking about downtown trees that are basically planted in a pot.
The one in this,
And-
yeah.
So,
Well, you remember it died, you had to take it out, yeah.
yeah, you take it out, but there's like wires and pipes, all kinds of stuff, so there's probably nothing we can't do. Okay, but that would involve the water department and your back truck. And we would blow the dirt out of there to see where the roots are around everything and see if we can kind of
Because
push
it's
it out of
yeah,
there.
it's ugly right now. Is it?
I'll go look.
Same with the dirt, the planter, that's over here along the railing. It's just dirt.
He's sure it's sorry, but it's clean. There's no,
Maybe Vicky can get her crew and plant flowers, but I don't know if it's irrigated. That's the thing. If you could put,
yeah, I don't know about the strip of dirt, those round things are irrigated. There's a spigot in one of them, remember?
That's
yeah, I saw
the
something.
metal cactus,
Huh?
the metal cactus. Those are so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that works.
Put some fake stuff. Just fake, it's just ugly right now. It's just,
I think I have a plasma cutter and some paint.
like, my backpacks too.
I can't. Yeah, let me look into the tree flower pot.
See that picture of the bike racks again?
Yeah, you send me that bike rack thing about every 6 months. I'm being stubborn. Anyhow, on the next page, you can see where they're sweeping the trails and trimming bushes and all kind of stuff. So just proud of them. There's a lot of things that they do other than just mow the grass.
See that?
Irrigation clocks, that's at Chisholm in the alley, and they're gonna be planting trees down that alley now where the park's at. At the very end of it's supposed to have landscaping, and we kind of made it to where the irrigation controls are secure and painted bright yellow so no one can tag them going down the alley. So, and then we did give the planters around here some love downtown here.
Oh, yeah, that helped a lot because,
Well, moms are only good for so long.
I know, but The actual pots are being watered now because you
Yeah.
can't rely on the merchants.
No, that helps too.
Yeah.
Yeah, water's good.
As long as the homeless don't pull them out or
Yeah.
light them on fire.
We got extra ones, but we just replaced the ones right here at Pioneer Plaza the other day. And everybody knows we're working on graffiti. We just purchased a new soda blaster. It's smaller, not as bulky, and it holds about 40 pounds of soda. And they're fixing that up. So our welder truck has a generator, and we'll put a compressor on it, and then we're set. And a little bit of cross training.
Oh, excuse me, how often do you get to the one at the base? The skate ramp at the base is tagged really good.
Not very often because the airport takes care of everything down there.
Sure they do.
Huh?
They don't have, she says they don't have staff.
No, that's, all right. So
That's why I keep trying to get you to take over.
give me a holler. We use a special color of blue. We just go down there and paint it. You know, but last time we were there, we had the irrigation working. So if it's tagged, you just call me and we'll send someone down there to make it go away.
I don't like with the skate thing, I don't necessarily, because that's part of the
Culture.
culture thing.
As long as it is-
So as long as it's not, derogatory or whatever.
As long as
I
it-
don't really have a problem because on that one, they had a really nice, it was really pretty.
Yeah, we like that. There's some pretty artwork. As long as it doesn't say something
Yeah.
nasty or something. As long as it's okay for the kids.
Yeah, the kids probably wanted with the customers.
Yeah, they probably, yeah, they could be. So we were requested to write down I don't know why they put it in here, but our unit numbers and the mileage on the vehicles we use. We were asked to do that, so we actually did.
Can I interrupt you?
Sure, of course you can.
There's information concerning a 2011 Ford Ranger on the report on the off.
On the what?
That's the one that's dead that needs to go away. And he needs a truck. So it's bad.
I didn't know
It's a
what it
really bad.
meant or whether it was for sale or
It needs
what.
to be disposed.
A match.
Deleted.
Needs a match.
Okay.
That when he weighs a gallon of gas on it, burned to the ground. Anyhow, it's done. We get some of the vehicles basically handed down, so we had to give them some love and we just go as long as possible.
Yeah, that was,
It was out there on its own, the information I'm talking about.
yeah, it needs to go away.
Okay.
We're gonna say Fire has a truck that can donate.
We go, please help me when she gets all the phone calls. And so sometimes they are separated and she takes care of us. We complain too much. Anyhow, something about Uber, you can always call. I don't know what she said, but anyhow, we're taking care of business there. Recreation, we get good turnouts for basketball and swimming. That's going good. Everything's kind of running smooth. More classes at the adult center. We got volunteers and helping us out, putting in line dancing, things like that again. Damien's over there and we switched his hours. So he's working on into the evening till like 8 o'clock where he's on salary. So he comes in later, works later, but then we can have more classes the evening when people are there. So
Are these classes being charged through the adult center or is it the instructor like it used to be?
and we're kind of going back to how it used to be as much as we can. Damien's booking the classes, so there's like a minimum, like if you don't have at least 5 people, they're not going to have it, they're going to bother. And then the fees go to the adult center. And then if you need supplies, you buy it from whoever's teaching the class. In the old days, they just had an agreement that the people teaching the class gave the city a percentage,
Yeah.
which is easier. We don't have to mess with it, but we're rebuilding. So we got that going on there. And then also the foundation, they've pretty much jumped all their hurdles to start building the pickleball courts. They worked with the city and our legal department. And I mean, that's the first time it's happened. Wasn't that hard. We worked together, got all the bugs worked out. So that now we've leased it, they went through council, leased the property, and then they went to the state. It's theirs now. So they had to go to the state and get their licenses. And now it's pretty much they've got the contractor they wanted. and they're going to award the contracts or already have. And so they're close to breaking ground. And then we suggest when they coat the courts, they wait until the right temperature. Just saying, okay?
The weekend rentals at the adult center,
Yeah,
they had stopped that.
well, we're doing it again.
Because it started, so I didn't know.
They stopped for a while and now they're going back.
Back to the charging, is it back to that last one that was really, really high and unaffordable?
Going back to where it used to be.
Not by the square foot and all.
Yeah, well, no, you want the room here, pay me.
A certain number.
Yeah. Back what it used to be. I mean, the council reversed the 70-30 thing, whatever, so we can restructure and take a look at how it works. I mean, we're not gonna drive ourselves into the hole.
Right.
We can look at utilities and payroll, but then with Damien in there in the evening, and, there's not a whole lot of oversight at the adult center. I mean, council's already approved cameras and security, so they'll be going in when the airport's done. So, there's no shenanigans, and off we go. You can get soda, dug out the popcorn machine.
I remember.
Yeah, remember that? You get some popcorn, then you get some popcorn, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, just changing it up a little bit. So it's a fun place to go, right? So that's the adult center. Zoo, we got a good maintenance staff. They're taking care of business. Zookeeper's doing fantastic. We hired another one, some local talent, 4-H kid, matter of fact, from back in the day. Makes me feel old. Remember when she was little? And so she started a couple weeks ago. So that's,
Who is it?
I don't remember her name. I don't do names. I know what she looks like.
How's the lake?
Huh?
How's the lake?
Not yet. But I'll get to that in a second. Because we got the railroad track and the clips to hold it. We hauled the rock today. All right. The bundles of 4x4s we have to go get tomorrow. It's a whole bunch, right? You got to get your tractors and forklifts and all kind of happy stuff. We had a discussion this morning with the Parks Department and they'll help teach the zoo staff how to do it, how to lay track. But I hate to give dates. I hate to tell anybody, but how about we're going to try to be 100% done up and running by maybe the second week of February. So we start testing things, get the counselors, put them on there and drive real fast.
I mean,
Yeah, no. But no, I mean, it's, there's a lot of things going on. We actually load it with sandbags and different things when we test it. And the brakes and different things and make sure everybody remembers how to run it, who's going to run it, how. And so we've started that process with materials and next will be training and tools and all that. The pond still is waiting for some more people to give me bids and we talked a little bit, it's like, yeah, and one more, I just think one more. And so we reached out to, actually it was a company that pulled the well, their local company. And I sent them the data. So it's apples on what's getting bid. I don't remember, it was yesterday or the day before. So I should have that last bid by the end of the week. And then we're going to rock and roll. And we'll get the well up and running. Both companies, one sent a camera down, the other one sent a bucket. Doesn't matter. It went to the bottom, hit the bottom of the well and sucked up water. I'm good. I don't have to drill a $200,000 well. See, it had a pump on it. So that's going to be up and running. So those are the main things we're working on right now.
So we get it stocked and
You do what?
get it stocked.
Well, I got to get it up and running. I want to see what it's doing first, then we'll call the state. And we'll go back to, the state will stock it if I'm not charging.
That's what I'm saying, get the kids fishing again.
And, and then we go back, but I don't want to get stuck in the mud and I go pull the kids out. I got to get full of water and see what's going to go on first. Like, caught a fish. Yeah, good luck. Now you got to go get your kid.
Do you have a plan on reopening the park
Yes.
at 8 o'clock rather than 10 o'clock? Are you working on something
Well,
to
we're going to,
implement?
where you can go have a picnic and remember there used to be like, winter hours, summer hours, remember? Well, I got to dig that up. I don't remember what it was. But,
It's from 8 to sundown.
sun to sundown, but then that was the coming open and it's like the cemetery was sundown and we finally had to put a time on it because we always had a discussion what sundown really was. I have talked to the staff about splitting the shift. But, right now it doesn't matter because it's dark all the time. But as we get going, splitting the shift and or if they're uncomfortable, I do use a security company for the cemetery. Same one the mortuary uses, same one that I had at the soccer fields. And maybe we can, discuss something like that as utilize our staff on maintenance and taking care of the animals. But yet, instead of, we just have to look at the personnel. If it's better to have an employee there to tell everybody to get out, or it was better just to pay that less money to an outside vendor to do that for you, because there's no benefits or anything. So we'll look at that when it gets closer. But yeah, they've got the irrigation going. They're trimming trees. I was over there today. We started planting, obviously Vicky's she had no botanist or anything. So believe it or not, I've got plants lined up that have to overwinter. So I was out there planting some plants lunchtime and we're going to amend some of the soil and so we'll start bringing things up that way. We fixed up the aviary. We're having discussions on where the birds go. And the reptile building is nice and tight. Very good job on that. I didn't know they had a 20-foot long boa constrictor in there. I went to the door and flipped on the light and said, don't go in there. Because they didn't tell me, and it's dark, and I flipped on the light, and it's a glass cage. It goes to the floor. So this thing's on the floor. It was frustrating for a minute, new friend. And so once we determined there was glass between me and we looked at everything else, and we'll have to plan to figure out how we can get the public to do the same thing. Flip on the light and get scared because there's a big old snake. So it is planning right now.
Mr. Chair, if I could, just brag on, certainly Mark's golf is really starting to generate some good revenue.
Yeah.
Brings up, got lots of comments from all over town that the golf course is looking better than it has in a long time. So that's really got along. Really proud of Jim and his crew over at the zoo. We'd like to look at those summer hours when we get past the daylight saving time. To adjust hours and set a time for sundown. So we know with certainty the goal, and it's broad, I think it's totally doable. I think Jim agrees with me on that, is to get the train right, get the train, tracks fixed, make sure it's operating right, it's not kicking off the tracks like. We want to get that right. We want to get the well right. We really need to get that last.
It should be this week. I reached out to them yesterday.
And then stock the pond with New Mexico Game and Fish. They'll do that for free since we're no longer charging. And we'll reach back out to them. We'd like to get those three things in play by the spring.
Good.
Now, the carousel is going to take more time. The good news in that is we're going to do it right, but we're going to need more time. The other good news in that is we're saving about $112,000 by having our volunteers rework the figurines, the horses, the ducks, those things. There's a great example of that at the library right now. If you want to see it, we've got 4 more online.
Yeah, there's a couple getting painted right now. 2 or 3 are getting painted, so they'll be done. The volunteers asked for a couple more to be hauled over to the adult center.
But the park had been so neglected in terms of the dead spots in the grass, capping the water sprinklers. They've gone through and gotten that right. So it's cleaned up, cutting the grass, things looking very nice.
Well, I stopped by the park, cutting it down. I was just on the parking lot. I think it was Sunday or Sunday. And I saw some people there. And of course, the ones that I saw had kids and the kids picking up pecans.
That's that time of year.
And so that's one of the attractions that attracted a lot of people to that particular park is the pecans. as long as they don't get up and try to shake the
trees, but we're okay.
tree. So, it's good to see people at the park again.
I agree, and I've seen the same thing.
Yeah.
So we got the restrooms. Restrooms are good.
Oh, yeah, they're up
We
and-
need to get that concession stand first.
That's the next thing, but yeah, the restrooms are fine.
Rita, you have anything?
And there's even walls and everything in the restrooms now, and you shut the door.
Is that on your report?
That's fine. I'm good.
So, is anybody online would like to have a word or two?
I just say thank you to Vicky, because she's helping me with the plants and the seeds and planting things, and Mama,
Take her to Riceman Park.
I'm taking her right. She's recovering from her knee surgery. She's chomping at the bit to get out. I have,
Better.
we gave, I don't know how many pounds of seeds this week to the Boys and Girls Club for their community garden. And then she separated them into different parks and what we're gonna plant in the zoo and what time and she has all the scientific stuff. And I just say, where do you want it? Where should I plant it? How deep does it go? And she tells me and so she's ready to rock and roll and getting the butterflies in there.
Are you paying her any amount of money?
She makes me, I take out the trash vacuum and she has me make supper once. You'll have to ask her. So, I mean,
Well, we have canceled the December meeting for general services. And I don't know if everybody knows or not, but there was a discussion at the legal committee
About merging everything.
about merging, we're actually ending up with three committees instead of 5. So this committee will probably look a lot different come January. But I think the proposal was to put public safety and general services together. And also, the title doesn't indicate it, but also take care of infrastructure issues. So, and of course, you got new people coming in.
Man, it's gonna make a much longer meeting,
So
much longer meetings. Go ahead.
So things will be a little different once the mayor determines who gets put on what committees and so forth and so on. So my thing was that there's really no reason to have any a general services meeting in December unless we have something of dire need, emergency type of thing, then we'll call the meeting. But it was scheduled for the 27th. But for now, we'll go ahead and cancel it out. And then in January, when the mayor decides who he's going to assign to what, then we'll go from there. So. And if you want to learn more about the way the committees are going to be formed, I guess you can come to the next legal committee. Because
Should be on the-
that one got tabled.
Oh, it got tabled, but the
They got-
information's in the packet though, isn't it?
Huh?
The information's still in the packet.
Yeah. So that one got tabled to, because in my opinion, I thought general services and infrastructure should be rolled into one. That's my opinion. And public safety should be a standalone. That's what I suggested. But once we have that discussion, then we'll come to a final, hopefully, agreement and send it to the full council and see what kind of discussion we get at full council. So anybody else have anything, public information, public input? The public input that I was going
I
to
cringe when he asks her.
rely on is, doesn't want to have any input.
No, I'll be out at the zoo next week. And I'm at the visitor center and I'm checking the right stuff.
Okay. Well, anybody online have any final thoughts? If not, this meeting is adjourned at 5:09.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Okay, happy Hanukkah. Reach out